Chapter 36. The Letter. He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Micah 6 verse 8. One quiet morning, the farm exhaled in golden silence. Bear lay stretched across the porch, belly to the boards, soaking in the warmth like an old rug in the sun. One ear twitched lazily at the buzz of a persistent fly. The only sounds were the soft creak of timber expanding in the heat and the whisper of gum leaves stirring overhead. Inside, the kettle clicked off with a gentle pop, releasing a curl of steam into the still kitchen air. James stepped in from the gravel path, brushing dust from his boots after a slow walk down to the mailbox. Ruthie was plating up breakfast, scrambled eggs, buttered toast, her movements gentle, steady. The scent of eucalyptus drifted in through the screen door.
Thank you.
James said, smiling softly as he reached for her chair and pulled it out. She smiled back and sat down, their knees brushing briefly beneath the table. James set the mail on the worn wooden surface beside their mugs and tucked into his meal. It wasn't until they'd finished eating, the plates pushed aside and the sunlight spilling in at a slant, that James began sifting through the small pile of envelopes. A power bill, a farm supply catalog, and then one envelope that made him pause. It was heavier, folded perfectly, government stamped, and addressed to Ruthie. His expression shifted. Slower now, he slid it across the table toward her, fingers lingering as he let it go.
This one's for you.
He said. Ruthie looked at it for a long moment. The seal, the insignia, the way her name was printed, so official it made her skin prickle. She took it with both hands, opened it slowly. Her eyes moved across the first few lines. Her mouth opened, but no words came. The legal language wrapped itself around her like barbed wire, terms she didn't understand, sentences that felt clinical, sterile, cruel.
I don't know what this means.
She said, holding the letter out to James. James sat beside her instantly, his arm resting gently along her back, anchoring her. He took the paper, scanned it, read it again.
It's a request.
He said softly.
They're not asking you to give evidence. You're not being called to testify.
Ruthie's hands dropped to her lap, fingers tangled together.
Then, what is it?
She asked. James exhaled slowly, grounding himself before he spoke.
They're asking if you'd like to submit a statement. It says it's voluntary.
Ruthie's lips parted, confusion flashing across her face.
I don't understand. I thought I'd have to give evidence in court. What does that mean? Does it mean he'll get away with what he did?
James shook his head gently.
You don't have to figure this out alone.
He said, his voice steady and sure.
We'll ask someone, a lawyer, someone who understands how this works.
His words were kind, but they floated past Ruthie like mist. Confusion and fear gripped her, thick and unrelenting. The words on the page, the legal jargon, the idea of choice, it all pressed in on her, heavy and disorienting. That same afternoon, James made a few calls. He connected with a local domestic violence advocacy service, not to speak on Ruthie's behalf or to push her into anything, but simply to open a door. They offered her a time to talk. James didn't pressure her. He just told her when they could meet, and left the rest to her. The day of the appointment came. They drove in silence. The legal office wasn't cold or clinical like Ruthie had imagined. The solicitor greeted them with a quiet smile. No suit, just a soft cardigan and flats. She offered Ruthie a glass of water. They sat in a small, sunlit room as the solicitor read the letter again. She spoke slowly, carefully, aware of every word.
I've already spoken with the detectives,
She said.
This isn't a subpoena. You're not being called to give evidence.
Ruthie blinked. Her voice cracked as the words stumbled out.
So, what does that mean? That he's getting away with it?
The solicitor met her eyes.
No, he's pleading guilty. That means he's already been convicted, officially. He accepted the charges against him.
Ruthie's throat tightened.
The detective said the evidence was overwhelming.
The solicitor continued gently.
They didn't need to put you through the trauma of testifying. But that doesn't mean you don't get to speak.
She turned the paper around slowly.
This is about sentencing. You have the right to submit a victim impact statement. It's voluntary. It tells the court and the judge how Dylan's actions have affected your life. It won't change the fact that he's guilty, but it can shape how the judge understands the full weight of what he's done.
Ruthie nodded faintly, absorbing the words.
You can write it yourself,
The solicitor offered.
or we can help. You can submit it in writing, or
Ruthie looked up.
Or?
you can read it aloud in court, at sentencing.
The solicitor's tone was steady but soft.
It's your choice. There's absolutely no pressure either way.
Silence stretched. James didn't say a word. Ruthie stared at the table, then slowly lifted her chin. Her voice was quiet, but it didn't waver.
I want to read it. I want him to hear me. I want him to hear what he did.
The solicitor blinked, not out of surprise, but out of something like reverence, and gave a slow nod.
That's your right.
She said. Ruthie exhaled, not with ease, but with purpose. Afterwards, James walked beside her in silence until they reached the car. He didn't ask how she felt. He didn't ask if she was sure. He just reached for her hand. That night, back at the farmhouse, Ruthie sat curled in a tangle of blankets on the couch. Bear lay at her feet, his steady breath a quiet anchor in the hush of the room. Her mug of tea sat untouched on the side table, long gone cold. The letter rested in her lap, folded, familiar now. But this time she wasn't staring at it like it was a threat. She was considering it, claiming it, running her fingers over the date, the courtroom address, the instructions, like they belonged to her now. James sat beside her in silence, not trying to fix anything. Just there. While she traced the edges of the paper, he pulled out his phone and started searching for hotels. His thumb moved slowly, scrolling. Nothing flashy, just quiet, clean places near the courthouse. Somewhere safe, somewhere steady. Ruthie glanced over and caught a glimpse of the screen. A modest guest house, a quiet apartment. Her eyes flicked up to his. James met her gaze and offered a soft smile.
I'm just looking for somewhere for us to stay. While you give your statement,
He didn't push, didn't explain.
we'll do this together.
He said simply. Her face softened. A tear slid down her cheek before she could stop it. She didn't wipe it away. She just nodded, exhaling slowly.
Thank you for listening to this chapter of Healing on the Land. If this story has touched your heart, I'd love for you to come join me for the next chapter. You can find it here on this channel. If you'd like to support more Christian storytelling, you can purchase the full book or make a donation using the link in the description. Your support, no matter the size, helps us to continue writing stories of faith, healing, and hope. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. May God bless you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.